we talked about at least last week or last episode about how Minions Land is on the horizon. We don't know when it's opening, but we are starting to get an idea that it seems to be opening in sections, as we had the sign was unveiled. Well, I would say maybe given the sign was unveiled that shows Minions Land, and then now Evil Stuff Gift Shop is now open. So this is the gift shop that is going to be the exit of the Minion. Is it Minion Blast?
Villains? Is it Villains Con or Villain Con?
Villain Con.
Villain Con Minion Blast.
Yeah.
So that's the gift shop.
So the gift shop is now open.
And they did not announce this. They just did it. Everyone's like, oh, let's just go in and take a look.
Yeah, we were talking about this. They also took down some of the construction walls around the ride so you can get a little closer. I think to check out some of the posters you can see there as well. So, we've had the discussion on how, how's this going to go? And I almost think it's just going to maybe open in sections as things get done. And then they'll have one big, either opening date or something like that. Because they kind of did this with Velocicoaster. It was in soft opening for a bit before it, quote unquote, officially opened.
I'm wondering, do you think they'll do annual pass holder previews?
I think so. I mean, we were looking through it. They did for Hagrid's and they did for Velocicoaster. So, I mean, looking historically, I would assume they would. But again, they could. The ride, I would assume, if they're going to open this in sections, maybe the last thing that opens. So they may open up. I mean, it makes sense. They open up a gift shop. They want to sell stuff. So, that's
right.
There's the food options as well. So those could open. And then once the ride opens, that's official launch. But I don't know. This is a little bit new, I think, for doing it this way.
I don't know. So I was looking back at, I didn't look at Hagrid's because we didn't live in Florida at the time when it opened, because it opened in 2019. But Velocicoaster, we were here, but we were actually visiting Missouri when the time, it was like May 2nd to 5th, I think is when they ran those AP previews.
It wasn't very long, yeah.
No, it was just a couple of days, but it was over a month before it officially opened.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, will they do the same thing with Minion Blast? I mean, it's a little bit different because it's not a roller coaster. So I don't think as much testing needs to happen with this kind of ride. But they are testing it currently. Yeah. I know that for sure.
And I don't know the last time, I'm trying to think. This is also not just one ride, but an entire sort of land that's opening. So you have all these different parts of it. So
will they do it together or separate?
Right. And so I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of the last land that would open like this. It's I don't know. This is the first time it's happened in quite a while where they've done.
Gosh, yeah.
So I don't really know.
Diagon Alley, 2014. But
that would have all opened at once.
Right.
They didn't have that open in sections, but also you couldn't get to it. So this is obviously an area of the park where, it's right when you walk in the park. So it's the first thing you see. So they may also just want things open so that when people come into the park, they can see things there instead of just construction walls. So it could be some of that. My guess is they do have AP previews, even if it's just for a few days.
Yeah.
I could see it being for
a few weeks before or something.
A Monday through Friday, and or a Monday through Thursday, and it opens up on a Friday or something like that. So I would assume they will, but the other sections of it, say like obviously the gift shop, I don't know the status of the food, the Minion Cafe, or the.
Well, we can't see any of that.
Right. So those, I could see those opening.
Well, construction walls are still around it. So we can't even see like where you would actually walk in.
Right.
We can only see them painting and like adding things to the buildings. So we have signs. We have signage up. We know there's the Minions Cafe. We know there's a bank. There's a bank right there.
Yeah.
We see Bake My Day. That's that sweet shop. We see Illumination Theater. The sign is up there. So it seems to be like the exterior is close.
Yeah, at this point, I would say that's just final touches, and then what
is the inside done?
Right, the thing. Who knows where that's at? But if I were to guess as to when this maybe opens, because again, they haven't said officially when it opens; they just said summer. I think probably, given we're seeing maybe across Disney and Universal, tourism in the area is down a little bit. I think Universal probably wants to get this thing open because hopefully they could see some people coming in. Mm-hmm. And really from a competitive standpoint, I'm sure they would love to see them get a little bit of a bump and, their competitor maybe not.
Yeah.
So I think they've got a lot of motivation to try and get this open, I don't know if June's even possible, but in July. I mean, we've heard August, so I think the possibility would be at this point late June or July as the quickest.
I don't see June.
I don't either, but Universal also, apparently from this, they just one day may just say, hey, this is open sort of thing. I don't think they will with the ride, but I think they could with the other things in there. But if I had to guess, I think July is a pretty a good guess. I think they would love to have that thing open by July.
I keep hearing like August. I keep hearing early August. Nobody really knows, but that's just kind of the rumors is August.
Well, and I think too, if you think about opening it up in sections like this, it's when people first walk in, there's obviously something new people can check out. But at the same time, they're probably looking at if they can get parts of it open at the very least in the summer, they can get the local crowds to come in and check it out as well. And I'm sure, I don't know how many people are going to travel from other states just to go check out a gift shop. I don't know. I don't know how many people will come check out just for Minion Land, but I'm sure they probably at least thinking, okay, let's get part of this open and get that local traffic in here, try and, get that word out. So.
Yep.
If I were to see, the thing is, if I were to bet, I'd say August. But I think they probably would love to see July.
We will see. Moving on to the next story real quick is about Fast 10.
Family. It's about family. The Family has made $650 million at the box office, and $514 million of that is from overseas, which is pretty typical of a Fast and Furious movie. You were asking me about this, and I was like, yeah. Typically makes all its money overseas. It's never been a huge moneymaker in the U.S. And it's also already on digital.
Yeah,
which is interesting because that thing just opened like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been like 3 or 4 weeks now.
I mean, I guess is it available digitally worldwide or just in the U.S.?
I'm not sure if it's worldwide.
I would assume it's just the U.S. because I don't think they really make these movies for the U.S.
Maybe based on the box office. You're probably right.
Domestically, they may just say, "Hey, here's our 2 to 3 week run, whatever it is," and then put it on a digital, and then make some, money on the video or the video on demand type stuff.
Yeah, but also we wanted to mention Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, it has grossed over $1.3 billion worldwide, so it broke over that 1.2, which I think that means did it beat Frozen 2?
I'm not sure about that. It is the number one movie of 2023.
Yeah, so. I know it had Frozen 2, and I think technically they classify Lion King, the remake one, as an animated movie because it technically is an animated movie, even though it's live action supposedly. But depends on how you look at it. So yeah, they classify the Lion King movie as animated because it has so much CGI. Because you're getting like animals to talk, and that's the whole movie.
That's interesting because there's so much CGI in like superhero movies,
right?
So what's the argument?
But if you think about Lion King, every single scene would be CGI'd because the entire movie is the animals talking.
I guess.
But yeah, that's which I don't really. I don't think that's an animated movie actually, but I know it was like coming up against Frozen 2 because I think it.
No, so it's the number 18 highest grossing movie so far. Frozen 2 is number 13.
What was Frozen 2's number?
Frozen 2 is 1.45.
Okay, 1.4. I couldn't remember what Frozen 2 had. So I know in the animated movie wise, in that category is what I was talking about. So I think Frozen 2 is the biggest animated movie if you're not counting Lion King.
Lion King, the first Lion. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, 2019's Lion King is 1.6.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting to know. Okay, well, that's all the regular news today. Jared has a rumor he wants to talk about. So what is the rumor?
Well, a couple of places have cited, and it is technically a rumor category, but the rumor is that Nintendo is in final negotiations with Illumination, who made Super Mario Brothers, who produced Minions, all that stuff, to produce and make a Zelda movie. Okay. So that would be coming off the heels of Mario Brothers, and Zelda obviously just had a new game come out, which is I think it may have been the biggest game launch. I know of the Switch it was. So
Dang.
That's a big deal if they do that, which would catapult off of Mario Brothers.
I'm not familiar with Zelda. I know what it is, but I have no idea what the game is. So
I don't know a lot about new Zelda. I definitely need to play it. They just had, like I said, they just had the new game come out. I know that much. And then, but yeah, it does give some credence what we talked about a few weeks ago of the rumor also was over there in Poseidon's Fury that a Zelda land or ride may go in that area. So if you're seeing a Zelda movie, perhaps, that would make a lot of sense that you'd also see a Zelda land.
I mean, personally, I don't think it's a big deal just because I'm not really interested in Zelda. Like I said, I don't even know really what it is. I've heard of it, but so this isn't really my thing. So
yeah, I mean, Zelda's, I don't know a ton. I played the old Zelda games when I was a kid, but it is a very big franchise, and this would be, I think a Zelda movie would do great. It's got a huge, group of people that love it. Plus, it would fit in with, people talk about, aren't they building a Super Nintendo world in Epic Universe? But they also do this where you've got Harry Potter in both Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. So they've kind of shown the precedent to put properties not just concentrated in one park as well. So
okay.
I don't know. And also, too, Poseidon's Fury area, they do need to, I mean, that whole area is just kind of a walkthrough area.
It really is. I mean, they have like the Mythos restaurant. They've got a couple of walk-up places to eat, shopping.
In that area,
but
too.
Sinbad's closed. The show isn't going
And
on.
you could pretty easily kind of make that area into like a Zelda-like area. So it's not, the motif is not a ton different. Zelda's kind of like an ancient timeline type thing. And I don't know a ton about it, but I think it is a thing that could work in there. So I kind of lean toward with this news of Zelda that that's definitely a possibility for Universal to do that. And again, it would fit in with wanting people to do more things outside of just go to Epic Universe when it opens.
That's a good point. Maybe.
Because that's the thing they're going to run into is when that does open, they want people not just in that park, they want them all over the place.